Tosh Dilek, welcome to Tibettv's program on Tibet support groups. Today we will discuss on Safe Tibet, an association based in Austria. Safe Tibet, an association based in Austria, is a non-profit, politically and religiously independent association that supports Tibetan educational institutions, children's villages, old people's homes, and other projects in exile, both ideally and financially. To discuss more on Safe Tibet, I'm joined by its president, Kathrin Mullner. Welcome to Tibettv, Kathrin Mullner.
Toshile.
Kathrin, my first question is, what does Safe Tibet Association stand for, and when and how did it form?
Well, the beginning of Safe Tibet goes back to the late 1980s and early 1990s. At that time, the first Tibetans in Austria formed an association in order to stay connected. That's how the Tibetan community in Austria was founded, consisting of Tibetans as well as Austrian supporters. As the interest was increased by Austrians in supporting Tibetans and the Tibetan cause, Safe Tibet was founded in 1994 to give social aid and ideal encouragement to Tibetans. And still there is a very close relationship and exchange between Safe Tibet and the Tibetan community in Austria. My predecessor, Elisabeth Zimmermann, did a great job, and she made the organization what it is today, especially due to her interview in Help TV, which is a program on Austrian TV. Our sponsorship numbers have received a strong boost. Finally, 4 years ago, I took over the presidency and with it the responsibility. And today I would like to take the opportunity also to publicly thank my entire team for their enormous commitment, which is all voluntary. Safe Tibet stands for solidarity with Tibetan people who have to experience a lot of suffering and injustice. And to do something about it and to improve the situation of Tibetans, this is the motivation for this voluntary work. So, I would also like to mention that our members, our sponsors, donors, supporters, they are the backbone of our work. And only through them it's possible to implement our aims and to really help people. So I would like to thank them very much for their incredible support.
Kathrin, as you said that your association was founded in order to provide social aid to Tibetan community in exile. So now my question is, how do you do so?
Our work is based on two pillars. So the first one is the social and cultural one. And with the help of our donors and Safe Tibet supports Tibetan educational institutions and children's villages, old people's homes, handicapped homes, environmental organizations, and different other projects in exile. So both ideally and financially, as you already mentioned before. And besides offering help and support for Tibetans in exile, the preservation of Tibetan culture is a very important focus of our work. For instance, we are in very good contact with a Tibetan dancing group that was formed by Tibetans in Austria. One of our most important activities in terms of social endorsement is our sponsorship program for different groups of needy Tibetans. This is definitely the most complex part of our work, but also the one that helps most specifically. So currently we are administrating about 600 sponsorships with an annual amount of roughly 250,000 euro. And additionally, we are able to raise funds and distribute them for different projects in an average of about 100,000 euro per year. So Even now, in times of pandemic, Austrians are making an unexpected contribution to help Tibetans in this situation. For instance, we have already been able to help some needy Tibetans and to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 in Tibetan settlements or institutions. So coming back to the second pillar, this is about public relation and political work. So we try to inform about the political situation and the environmental degradation in Tibet. And we try to raise awareness about human rights abuses and cultural genocide in Tibet. And together with Tibet support groups around the world and the Tibetan government in exile as well, we are creating kind of network of solidarity with Tibetans. And we support Tibetans in realizing their aim of real autonomy and the right of self-determination.
Kathrin, I've gone through your association's website and I've found lots of activities that your association carry out. But one of the major activities of your association is to raise awareness about human rights abuses and cultural genocide in Tibet. However, as we all know that it is very much restricted in terms of information flow in and out of Tibet. So how do you manage to gather necessary information to update your audience and increase the awareness on the issue?
Mm-hmm. Okay. First, we are member of the International Tibet Network, and therefore this network is an important source of information for us. But we are also in good relationship with various organizations in Dharamsala who provide us with information. One of our partners, for instance, who keep us up to date is the Tibetan Center of Human Rights and Democracy, but also other offices at CTA. Earlier, we even had direct channels to people inside Tibet, but nowadays, unfortunately, these channels no longer exist.
Okay, Kathrin, now I'm going to ask you a very interesting question. As you are aware that His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama's first commitment is promotion of human values. So how relevant or important do you think is the message of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama on love, kindness and compassion in today's world?
Okay, actually this is a highly philosophic question. From my personal point of view, His Holiness' message of love, kindness and compassion is very important for individuals, but even for the whole world, in order to mitigate and overcome conflicts, violence and recklessness. I think for our work at Safe Tibet, the mentioned human values are the foundation for our voluntary commitment. And for our sponsors, it is a motivation to give financial support for needy Tibetans.
Kathrin, I've also noticed that your association publishes quarterly newspaper. So tell us about its coverage and how are the responses from the public?
Okay, yes, you're right. At the moment, my team is working on the new issue of our newspaper. The content is used to be about our actual and recent activities, such as events, campaigns, success stories, fundraising projects. We try to provide the latest Tibet-related news and give a background information on different topics like Tibetan culture, Buddhism, for instance, or also nomadic life. This newspaper is also a good medium for us to propose fundraising projects and present our sponsorship program. And in each issue, we present a new priority project and ask for donations for the same.
Okay, Kathrin, before we wrap up our discussion, my last question is about your association's political works. Your association supports genuine autonomy for Tibetans based on middleweight approach. So question is, how relevant do you think is the importance of middleweight approach and non-violent movement for Tibetans as well as the Chinese government in current times?
Yeah, this is a difficult question. As far as I see it, there is no practical alternative to nonviolence. So I believe that because of nonviolence, Tibetans got and still get so much of sympathy and support from people all over the world. Concerning middleweight approach, it has put the Chinese government onto the defensive, I think, because the use of violence on the part of the Chinese government in suppressing Tibetan protests is a proof of their failure to address the urgent and justified needs of Tibetan people in Tibet.
Okay, Kathrin, one last question. As you are aware that Central Tibetan Administration marked 2020 and 21 as gratitude year to His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. So any message from your side to His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama?
I wish him long life and good health.
Thank you so much. With this, we are going to end our discussion here. I would like to thank Kathrin Mullner for joining our program. Thank you so much, Kathrin La.
Tujana.